Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien, and this week joining me are Andy Parsons, Sean Walsh and Greg Davies, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. And we start with headliners. Here's a recent picture of FIFA President Sepp Blatter. But what does BSIP stand for?
Is it bean sprouts in package?
Is it Blatter steals idiots pizza?
Is it bullshitter is president?
Is it Beckham's spelling is funny?
Does he actually have that pronounced a lisp? Does he?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Is there a new cough medicine that Beckham's launching? It's called Bexip. And what happened to the advert? It goes, well, you know, at the end of the day, if you've got the flu, then, you know, you take Bexip, and at the end of the day, you take one in the morning, and then once at the end of the day.
Can I just say, he's got a bit of a lisp.
Well, you can tell that Beckham thinks something is wrong, because if you look at the picture, he's going, A. There's an A coming out of his mouth.
A. It's not biscuit selection impresses president, is it?
I can't get away from the fact that Sepp Blatter sounds like Sepp Blatter.
What it actually sounds like is a German man saying stepladder.
Yes, Hugo, there's, that building is on fire. I'll get a Sepp Blatter.
Is it quite a small building? Firemen have a stepladder. Oh, well, turns out this was the wrong thing to bring to the World Trade Centre. It's considerably higher than we'd imagined.
Anyone know what the correct answer?
Blatter stays in power.
That's very good. Well done, Chris. That's it. Yes. The answer I was looking for was Blatter stays in power. This is the news that Switzerland's Sepp Blatter has retained the presidency of FIFA following an election in which he was the only candidate. The election went ahead despite calls from the English Football Association to postpone it following months of controversy for FIFA in relation to allegations of corruption and bribery. This, by the way, is the ballot slip that was used in the election.
Is that a mock-up from The Sun or something?
Genuinely, that was done over somebody's shoulder, yeah.
It looks weirdly like Facebook.
Dislike.
Yeah. Or indeed when people go, I've never heard of Joseph. Who's Joseph? I've heard of Sepp. He's a friend of mine.
And was the German candidate going, well, I was voting for stepladder?
That name is very high on that bit of paper, and we need a Sepp Blatter.
Yep.
Are you going to keep going back to that well again, are you?
I'm afraid I will at various points during the show.
So who backed England's call to postpone the election?
Prince William.
Prince William did, yes.
Prince William was there. He was basically saying, wasn't he, they thought that basically they should postpone the election, and you're thinking they've got somebody who's a member of a family that have basically run this country for centuries by divine right, telling other people about proper democratic accountability.
After that lovely wedding. How dare you turn on them after that delightful morning that they get?
Who was our delegation? It was Beckham, Prince William and Cameron. They are all loaded. Surely they could have just done what every other country did and put their hand in the pocket and got us the World Cup.
I don't know what Prince William was supposed to... I think it's supposed to impress people. We have brought Prince William. How is that going to impress me from, like, Qatar? I am Prince William. Oh, I am also a prince. And so is my brother and my dog. And we're all princes here, you know.
The FA are talking about withdrawing from FIFA, but that would mean they would just be called FEE. Every time they announced a meeting, they would think that a big giant was coming.
It's very difficult to tell, though, whether it is bribery or not, I think. You don't quite know in organisations like that. But what Sepp Blatter said when he was accused of it and when he was making that speech in Geneva, he said, our pyramid is shaking and our ship is taking on water. And you think, they've got a pyramid and a ship. Where did they come from?
Did the Egyptian delegate go, shut up about the pyramids?
The other reason I haven't been worried too much about the news coverage, apart from the fact that Sepp Blatter sounds like stepladder, is because during the coverage, they kept on going on about the Qatari representative, Bin Hammam. And every time I heard that, I thought, well, a bit of Benylin will sort that out. Every time I said that to myself.
Did you?
The whole idea of...
Oh, the medicine is in a high cabinet. I will have to get a step ladder.
I already think the Qataris sound like something out of Doctor Who anyway.
I'm of the Qatari.
We are proud warrior
What is the
nation.
blue box? He's suggested that they now need an ethics committee. And he's appointed to the ethics committee Henry Kissinger, an 88-year-old war criminal. That's who you want on an ethics committee. Who else has he got in mind? Abu Hamza, the child catcher off Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and the producers of Britain's Got Talent.
So why did they want Kim Basinger to be in FIFA? I still can't work out. You say that Kim Basinger is going to be head of FIFA. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I said. I said Kim Basinger is going to be head of FIFA. Exactly. So just after I said you need to get a haircut, it's right in front of your ears.
Also, you don't want the World Cup in the Middle East, because if any match goes to sudden death, well, that's just tempting.
We want to be more political. What could the Liberal Democrats lose at the next general election?
Well, up to a quarter of their seats.
Yes,
apparently.
up to a quarter. How would they lose a quarter? This is apart from the 75% of their seats that they're going to lose anyway due to their massive unpopularity. But the other quarter, how are they going to lose it?
Boundary changes. Is that not right?
Boundary, like you're selling it to me. More boundary changes you can possibly imagine.
Yeah. Boundary changes, moonlight, good times and boogie. How are they going to decide which 50 MPs to get rid of? Laser Quest. That's what Or release a lion into the House of Commons, wait till it's had enough, and hope it doesn't go for Eric Pickles first. Then there'll only be 640. I couldn't eat another MP. I'm absolute. Does anybody want this leg?
Labour have said it's going to lead to basically more safe Tory seats.
Right.
But of course, not as much as, there are safe Tory seats now because of the way the Lib Dems are going. Nothing could get worse for Nick Clegg at the moment. His reputation could go no further. If he'd got his knob out at the royal wedding, his popularity would only have increased.
I think only if you found out that his charming Spanish wife sold salad would his popularity have been any lower.
I think if two Labour MPs find themselves against each other, they should combine, like the Transformers, to make one super MP and destroy all of the Liberals forever.
There's something in that plan. Maybe slightly more working out than that.
It's the 1 year anniversary of the coalition.
Yes.
At this point, I bet David forgot. I bet Nick was ringing out going, so where are you taking me? We know where he's taking you. And how roughly.
I agree. Cameron is constantly going on about the strength of the union and how strong they are. I think they should be made to kiss in public. That's what we used to do at primary school. If people said they liked each other, we made them kiss.
By the way, sorry, was this during your career as a pupil or during your later career as a teacher?
It was a prison. It was a prison school. I was at.
Okay. And the points go to Chris Ewan Milton. Now we play a round called There's No Super Injunction on Our Ryan Gags. This game involves Greg, Milton and Sean, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. The first subject is trust. Who wants to come in on that? Sean.
I get proud. I get guilty when I'm with a friend and he loses money in his house. This happened to me recently. My friend lost a £5. I thought, does he think Does he think I've taken his fiver? Is this what's happening? He thinks I've taken... I want to say I haven't taken his fiver, but I don't want him to think that I'm guilty. And then I start thinking, hang on, have I taken his fiver? Maybe I've taken his fiver. Maybe I've put his fiver in my pocket. I want to check my pocket. I can't check my pocket. If he sees me checking my pocket, he's going to think I've nicked his fiver. I want to go and hide and check my pocket. I can't hide and check my pocket. If I hide and check my pocket, he's definitely going to think I've nicked his fiver. So I went into the bathroom. I found his fiver. I couldn't go and give it to him. It would have looked like I got guilty, decided to give it back. I can't just leave it there. He's seen me go in. It's going to look like I planted it. So I just nicked it.
Well done. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is family. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
All of my family are obsessed by the ageing process. Every single generation of us are obsessed by it at the moment. I'll just share this with you before I talk about other family members, just so I can get it off my chest. I was visiting my parents last week, and an old family friend came up to us in the street and said to my mum, "Hello, Pauline, how are you?" She said, "I'm all right, thanks, Kath, how are you?" And then she looked up at me and she said, "Hello, Bob, how are you?" Bob is my dad. He is 75 years of age. All of us are obsessed with it. All of us are obsessed with ageing in our family. Even my nan. My nan is doing her best to hold off the years. She puts a pound of face cream on every single morning. You know, and there's not a face cream on the market that works, ladies and gentlemen. I know that because of my nan, because she's a lovely woman, but she's religiously applied this stuff, and with the best will in the world, her face is ruined. I said to her, "You've spent all that time and all that money, Gran, and your face is no better than Grandad's." And he's dead. He died in the war. He got shot in the face. With a cannon.
OK. That leaves you with Milton. Let's see what you've been after. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is travel.
When I was young, my mum used to put food on a spoon and say, "There's a train coming, there's a train coming, there's a train coming." We'd always eat it because we knew that if we didn't, she wouldn't untie us from the railway line. I tried to get here by train today. They said, "Today there's a bus replacement service." So I gave them a tin of pineapple chunks. I said, "What's that?" I said, "That's my money replacement service." I didn't have any money because her friend nicked my fiver. Thanks, that doesn't normally work. Anyway, I managed to borrow a car and I parked it up in Bus Lane. Last year I went on a ballooning holiday, put on 4 stone. The other day I bought one of those off-road vehicles, 3,000 quid, got it home, found out it was a canoe.
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sean, which category would you like?
Can I go for sport?
OK, sport it is. The answer is 500 million. What is the question?
Is it the amount of times that Ryan Giggs has got home late and said, extra football training?
Is it how many doors do a Jehovah's Witness have to knock on before someone lets them in?
Is it how many times does Cheryl Cole have to repeat a sentence before the American public will understand it?
Is it how many tiny farmers with their tiny ploughs does it take to make a field of corduroy?
Is it how many times Wayne Rooney would have to play a monkey at Connect 4 before he won?
many lions would you get if you shagged the headmaster's wife?
Is it... If you took the entrails from every adult in the United Kingdom and laid them all out end to end, how many years in prison would you get?
Is it how many times do we have to bomb Gaddafi's house before NATO admit that we're actually trying to kill him?
Is it how many bumps will Stonehenge get on its next birthday?
Is it how many miles I would run to punch Justin Bieber in the face?
Is it what rhymes with 500 million?
Okay, if that's what we're doing, then can I have the correct answer, please?
That's the end of the round, then?
Yeah, that's definitely a sign of either the end of the round or the end of days.
Is it the amount of money they're hoping to earn from selling Olympic tickets?
That's close enough. That's absolutely fine. Well done, Annie Park. There you are. Yes, the question I was looking for was how much does the organising committee of the London Olympics hope to raise from ticket sales for next year's Games? This follows from the revelation that 900,000 people missed out on Olympic tickets in the recent application process. There were 20 million requests for 6.6 million seats. Who has got tickets?
Mate.
You've got tickets?
Yeah.
Hang on, have you got none tickets?
I've got very little and I'm furious. It was a farce, wasn't it? They basically said, oh, we'll take money out of your account and we'll tell you in 3 weeks' time what you may or may not have got. It's like being organised by the Bank of Nigeria. Yeah. Congratulations, you have won tickets for the Olympics. Just fax 2,000 quid to this random number.
And then collect your 400 tickets for the volleyball qualifiers.
My wife wanted to go and see the shooting. I'm not paying 80 quid to see shooting in East London. You can see that for free.
I think anybody who hasn't got tickets, don't worry too much. Let's face it, the general feeling is that the transport system will still be mucked. There'll be massive queues to get in.
Yeah.
It'll be £5 a pint. The burgers will be half-cooked. You'll have people with fat thighs sat either side of you and a really tall bloke in front of you with a kid with ADHD.
To be fair, that's what they're selling, an experience you will never forget.
I'm very lucky I'm going to the swimming baths to see the 400-metre butterfly, and I can't wait to see an insect that big.
OK, which famous Londoner missed out on tickets to the Games?
Jack the Ripper.
Yes. No, another one. Another more famous Londoner than that.
Dick Van Dyke.
Not Dick Van Dyke, no.
I can't believe it! Oh, put down for loads of them!
Oh, blimey, Mary.
Which Londoner famously missed out on tickets?
Boris Johnson
Boris
didn't get
Johnson.
any tickets. And he's obviously not very confident, is he?
That's Boris Johnson about to do a knife attack.
Did you see John Prescott's offer to the people who didn't manage to get tickets? John Prescott put a tweet out saying, if you've missed out on tickets to the Olympic Games, the East Hull Olympic Games start today in the park in my constituency, which is kind of like saying, can't afford the opera? Well, there's a tramp at the bottom of my road. Yes, he whistles my way.
Greg, why are you following John Prescott on Twitter?
Private reasons.
What? OK, great. Let me ask you the Olympics. What is the first taste of Olympic fever that we're going to get?
We are basically going to have the Olympic flame.
Yes, we are.
Which is apparently going to go round the country, including 6 of our islands, including Guernsey, Jersey and the Orkneys. And that's, of course, if when it goes to the Orkneys, they don't keep whoever takes it there and worship them as a god.
It's some former Olympic athletes are going to be taking the torch round.
Well,
you know that all round the country, street cleaners along the route are going, please not Paula Radcliffe. Please not Paula Radcliffe.
I go to East London quite a lot. When it gets to East London, it's just going to be stopped every 5 seconds with people just going, excuse me, I could buy your light, could I?
And what's happened? What did the police? What's been offered to the police who are guarding the Olympic torch on this 8,000-mile journey?
Counselling.
Counselling.
Counselling to help them get back into the proper world at the end of it.
And they'll have been...
Although, actually, they need counselling before they start if you're going to run for 70 days behind a flame.
They develop some sort of like moth syndrome if they've been running behind a flame for the last 70. They're just constantly jumping at the moon.
For God's sake, don't put him on the night shift again. It was a disaster last time.
Jumping over walls to get to people's barbecues and just stand staring at it. I worship the flame now. The flame is my god now. Moving on. What did Wayne Rooney admit on Twitter this week?
He has admitted to having a hair transplant.
Yes, he has, yes.
Because he said he was being teased by his teammates. And you're thinking, his teammates call him Shrek. That has got very little to do with his hair and a lot to do with his ears and his nose and his face. Is he going to have them transplanted as well? I mean, the best thing he can hope for is still being teased by his teammates, but being called Hairy Shrek.
He tweeted, it's still a bit bruised and swollen. When it dies down, you'll be the first to see it. But apparently he was just retweeting Ryan Giggs.
Is it standard when you have a hair transplant to have a zip put on the front?
What is it?
What's that zip for?
Keep his pyjamas in.
Oh, OK. Oh, it's time for bed, then.
My uncle had a hair transplant and he just got great big floppy ears, but he could run fast.
I wouldn't like... You've really got to trust the surgeon, haven't you? Because and he's right, he takes hair from places that you've got lots and he puts them in places where you...
Yeah, I don't think it's free reign to just go anywhere at all. From the back of your head.
What if he did? You could end up looking like a scourer.
It's a scouser.
Very good. I'm going a bit here, I think. Let's be honest. But I was at one point...
Don't taunt me with your I'm going a bit here.
Yeah, Dara, I've been putting a bit on here as well, by the way. Going a bit at the seams, Dara.
Apparently 2 out of 3 men will suffer from male pattern baldness, where obviously you start losing it on the top and then it starts coming out your ears. And you're thinking, that's not much of a pattern, is it?
There's nothing worse than when the barber discreetly does your ears. First time he does that.
Yeah.
After that, you're okay. The dignity you'll take it. But if he goes and just and does the other ear, because it's suddenly really loud, and you go, what? It's like a bee has flown into your ear just for a second. What was that? Let's never talk of it again.
I had a haircut in Turkey and they set fire to my ear hair.
Really?
Oh, yeah, where they light that, but not the entire thing, just like they...
No, they didn't just...
Paraffin. Welcome. Thank you for coming to Crazy Omar's Barbershop. All right, give that round of applause for Chris, Hugh and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear at a school assembly.
OK, today we're going to have a special outing. So, Miss Williams, if you'd like to tell everybody why you're a lesbian.
We welcome a new member of staff today. He has no arms and no legs and no body, and we will call him the Head.
Would whoever's milkshake is bringing all the boys to the yard, please stop it.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boys and girls. I've just had a shit the size of a baby seal.
If you are found in possession of cocaine, you will be given 100 lines. No, wait.
And today in the after-school club, we're going to be using paper mache to make a mother that actually loves you enough to pick you up at 3 o'clock.
I'm delighted to say that during the summer holidays, Mr. Wang married Miss Kerr. His nickname will remain the same.
A wise man once said, boys and girls, that if you try your hardest, you can fulfil your dreams. Generally, that's true. Not for you, though, Tom. You can't read. So...
And today, everyone, we have a new boy. Now, for some reason, whatever reason, he's been to a lot of schools, so be kind to him. Will you please make your way to the front? Richard Pooh Willie.
A word about registers. Most of the staff are on one.
So that is how you put on a condom. But, sir, shouldn't you have used a cucumber? Not with that E. coli kicking around.
Sorry I'm late. I just had a bit of a run-in with an interactive whiteboard. It told me to fuck off.
I've had all your mums.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
Tonight, I'm going to be climbing a step ladder.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a friend of mine who was run over last week and is in hospital. The wheels of the bus go round, 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 round.
I've got an ability that no one on this planet has. That's Ant, that's Dec.
It was like Elvis was in the building. You're fat and there's a stench of death.
Well, Peter, it's not what everyone would call entertainment, but you are one hell of an assassin.
I thought you hit the high notes really, really well. Be interesting to see if you can still do that when I haven't got your nuts in a clamp.
Hello. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling. Trying to fall.
When you said you were going to ride a donkey...
Yes, I have been on the show before. I was once trapped in somebody else's underpants, going, feeling.
That was an exceptional performance, and the way that you have overcome your blindness is truly inspirational. But this is a chip shop, the X Factor audition next door.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're all terrible, OK? All of you, you're completely dreadful. I don't know what you're doing. Especially you, Hasselhoff. What have you done since Baywatch?
And as well as that, I can unzip the top of my head. It's where I keep my pyjamas.
I know you said you were a Gary Glitter tribute act, but we weren't expecting you to do that.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Andy, Sean and Greg. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Chris Anderson, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Sean Walsh and Greg Davies. Thanks for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.
The secret of the missing locket is revealed. Psychoville, the final episode, later at 11:20 here on BBC Two. Over on BBC Three now, dealing with a price war. That's the comedy of Ideal.
Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Josh Widdicombe and Joe Wilkinson, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Joe, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
Thank you very much. Your category is politics, and the answer is 8%. What is the question?
Is it how much of my body isn't covered in hair?
No, it is not that.
Is it in fact how much of Abu Hamza will have to be removed so as they can get him through the Heathrow metal detector?
Is it what does Mario Balotelli give every game?
What is the chance of the police responding quickly to an incident at Andrew Mitchell's house?
How much of Anne Robinson's face can still move?
Is it what looks like an obese parent and 2 obese children on a seesaw?
Is it how many people involved with the making of the film Innocence of the Muslims still think all publicity is good publicity?
Is it what percentage of X Factor finalists haven't had a granny die?
What percentage of Americans have approached Dr. Dre for medical advice?
Is it what level of erection did I once try and have sex with?
Do you measure on that scale, or is it just in terms of...
Image of you going out on the pole, checking your wallet before you go out, condom, protractor.
Is it what's Nick Clegg's approval rating in his own family?
Is it in deprived areas how many lollipop ladies get licked to death?
Correct answer.
So I think it's what percentage of people say they would vote for the Liberal Democrats.
That's absolutely right. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis.
No.
Yes, the question I was looking for was, in opinion polls this weekend, what percentage of the British public say they would vote for the Liberal Democrats at the next general election? This is the news that, according to the latest figures at the start of the Lib Dem conference, the party is now the 4th most popular in the UK, with a support of only 8%. Labour are in the lead for 42%, the Conservatives are on 30%, with the UK Independence Party in surprise 3rd place on 10%. How unpopular is Nick Clegg?
Well, he could improve his popularity by changing his name to Colonel Gaddafi.
It's embarrassing, though, isn't it, that UKIP are now 3rd?
Yeah.
Because Nick Clegg said he wanted to create 3-party politics, didn't he? And he's achieved that, but sadly his party's not one of them.
I've done some door-to-door canvassing for the Lib Dems, and it's always the same, you know, the light comes on, people come downstairs in their pyjamas, and people are angry.
They keep having a go at these kind of people that are doing this kind of offshore banking, going, oh, well, things they live in Britain, but they're banking in the Cayman Islands. They've got the best of both worlds. That's not the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds is banking in the Cayman Islands and living in the Cayman Islands. Not very well, I bank in the Cayman Islands, but I'm loving Roehampton. It's unbelievable.
It's also going to be... They want to put a tax on the rich, but it's actually going to be really difficult to be rich. I think if you leave college with 40 grand in debt, right, and you've got to find a 25% deposit, how are you, for a house, how are you ever going to be rich? And the average starting date for owning your own home is now 35. You know, by the time Osborne finishes, starter homes will have, like, a stair lift. Special handles on the bar, won't it?
That would be.
Picture that.
That would be true.
Of a nice old lady slowly ascending the stairs going, I love my independence.
Finally, I can bring a girl back to the house. Shall we take things upstairs?
Followed by a nurse going, I'm the girl he has to bring back. OK, in other news, here's a picture of Government Chief Whip Andrew Mitchell arriving by bike at work. Can anyone sum up this picture with a phrase?
Cock on a bike.
Is it Chris Hoyer's let himself go since the Olympics?
Chief Whip chased by giant chess pawn.
Is it Spielberg disappointed with the sequel to E.T.?
Or is he simply shouting, "Open the effing gate, you plebby scum"?
Is it that after all the drugs tests, is he the only person that we left in next year's Tour de France? Is that...
Does anyone know why is it? What's the story? What's the story? Explain to us the fabulous story.
He has been accused of verbally abusing a policeman at the gates to Downing Street who wouldn't let him through the main gates and forced him to go through the pedestrian gates. He swore at the policeman and apparently called him a pleb.
Everyone's kind of acting like he said the most offensive... It's the word pleb.
Yeah, it is the word pleb.
That's the thing. Like, I'm sure the police officer has heard worse. He wasn't going home to his wife and going, "Oh, my God, someone dropped the P-bomb at work today." Oh, it was unbelievable. My ears have never heard such a thing. It's the kind of thing here at school. They might as well have gone up and he'd just given him a wedgie. That's...
When people shout it at me, I take it as a compliment.
Well, Michael Gove, presumably, is thinking that's a Latin word. That's good. That's a classical education.
Mitchell said they may have changed the words he said, because the words they claim he says was "best you learn your effing place, you don't run this effing government, you're effing plebs." Right. He said he didn't say those words. Now, I can't read out what words he said, because he hasn't told us, so those are the only ones I can read out.
These are the people, though, who are charged with protecting him. You don't want to upset them.
No.
Oh, yes, I didn't catch Mr. Mitchell as he fell from the second floor of the building, because I didn't think he'd want me to touch him, given that I'm a pleb and everything. But as we took his body out of Downing Street, we took him through the main gate. It's what he would have wanted.
People say he's a talker because he was the word pleb. But the fact that he rides a Mary Poppins "I'm a country midwife" bicycle, that'll be more of a thing.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you've got to decide who you're going to trust, a policeman or a Tory MP. It's very difficult to know which is more likely to lie to you.
Well, a lot of Tory MPs.
Last week! Jesus! Hillsborough! 23 years! That's what the joke is about! How quickly... Are you keeping up with the papers at all? Only source you have for this.
Do you find abusing the audience helps the way the rest of the show goes?
Occasionally I Ooh! How low is your shock?
Fucking get a grip!
It's not surprising he abused the policeman, though, is it?
Why is it not surprising?
Well, because the Mitchells... They're always abusing the police, aren't they? He's probably been down a Vic saying, "I'm sorry I done it, but blood is thicker than water, Phil."
I didn't call them you plebs, I called them you slags.
That would have been great had he gone, "Please, let me out of here. You don't run the government, you toilet."
There's some kind of weird... One of the details was that he'd come from a curry house. And in The Sun, it was reported, it said, he went for an Indian and then he went to the gates of Downing Street where he let rip. That is not an image I want at all.
Well, if you don't think the gates are going to open very quickly, it is quite funny to walk up to and go, and then over the gate.
Mitchell says that he didn't say pleb, but the people who say he did say pleb were The Sun. And I believe them because who else has better access to police files? I didn't realise there was a coach from The Sun in. I'm so sorry.
You pushed it too far now, Addison. You've had to go at The Sun.
I've had to go at the Murdoch. How dare you, that poor old defenceless man.
I'm surprised by this plan. No one was looking at that picture going, "Well, is he going to reveal himself to be posh, I wonder?"
He seems to have a very odd bicycle that you cycle with both feet at the same level.
At the end of that round, the points go to Joe, Josh and Andy. Now we play a round called Look, It's PC Pleb. This game involves Josh, Milton and Joe, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and whoever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's see the first topic, please. The first subject is catering. Anyone's given that? Josh.
My favourite place to eat is the breakfast buffet in a hotel. Because at a breakfast buffet, I will eat absolutely everything. That's the rule, isn't it? At home, I will have cereal or toast for breakfast. At a breakfast buffet, I am having cereal and toast as my starter. In combinations you would never consider at home. Coming back and what have I got? Well, 8 hash browns, topped with some Dutch cheese, actually. I have 4 pain au chocolat, 6 croissants, some segments of a fruit I've never heard of, and 12 of the smallest orange juices you have ever seen in your life. I eat so much at breakfast buffet, I'm so tired, I have to go back to bed. I then sleep through to my next breakfast buffet. I'll be mixing the cereals, going crunchy nut cornflakes with shreddies. Who do I think I am, Heston Blumenthal? You've got to do it, don't you? It's like when you're in Nando's, they give you the plastic glass to pour your own drink. I think, well, I'd be an idiot not to make myself a spranter in this situation, wouldn't I? What am I having? Having a Sprocafolo, actually, yeah, all of it. What did it taste like? Utter shit, absolutely terrible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johnny and Josh. OK, let's have a look at the next subject. Now, the topic is smoking. Let's come out. Joe.
I've actually given up smoking, which, well, that's a lie. I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those pricks that says they've given up and then goes to the pub and smokes yours. Because when I was a proper smoker, I hated pricks like that. I really like... You know, someone comes to you and go, have you got a spare cigarette? I go, no. Because unfortunately, I'm addicted to them. Which means I pretty much take a shine to all of them. Have you got a spare cigarette? Yeah, I do, weirdly, because I'm a 19-a-day man myself. That's the way, you knobhead. What else, like... Warnings, they do nothing for me. Like, you know, the warnings, they're quite drastic things. They're like smoking kills. So? I've got a horrible picture and still people don't give up. And I thought, bloody hell. So I've come up with a couple of ideas, right, to get people to give up smoking. They're just ideas, right? You could either put a warning on cigarette packets that says something like, one of these fags has been up a dog's arse. Yeah, I think that'll separate the men from the boys, isn't it? Or simply make cigarettes cock-shaped.
Well done, Joe. Thank you very much. So that leaves Milton. Let's see what topic you've got. And the topic is school.
That last bloke was a bit weird, wasn't he? Anyway, I went back to my old school the other day, first time in 30 years. I took a note. Teacher said, so, Jones, what have you done with your life? I said, oh, I'm just Britain's top Ofsted inspector. They were a lot nicer to me after that. I was there for the funeral of my old science teacher. They asked me to say a few words, so I did. Method. We put the coffin in the crematorium. Observations. It burned with an orangey bright flame. Conclusion. No more homework.
Well done. Point it out to the Milton Jones. Very good. Sit back. Very good. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the American presidential candidates, but what does PRRT stand for?
Is it prankster removes Romney's teeth? There's nothing there, is it?
Yeah, it is. Shocking.
Looking at Obama's ears, President really resembles trophy.
Is Obama saying PRRT, 7 letters, Belgian detective?
Is it public reaction reaches tepid?
Essentially, yes. Yeah.
Is it in a Yorkshire accent? Is it politicians, right rubbish?
Can we actually, genuine, correct answer?
President reads Radio Times.
Not President reads Radio Times.
Is it presidential race remains tight?
Very good. Well done. Thank you very much. Josh. Yes, the answer I was looking for was presidential race remains tight. This is the news that with less than 7 weeks to go, the race to win the presidency of the United States is heating up. Polls show that Barack Obama and Mitt Romney are still close, despite Romney committing a series of gaffes.
I think I preferred Romney in Only Fools and Horses.
You plonker, Romney.
The thing about Romney is, isn't it? He's got the Republican nomination this year, but 4 years ago he lost out to John McCain. John McCain, a man himself who lost out for the nomination 8 years previously that to George W. Bush. So you're thinking, how poor are the Republicans at the moment that the best person they can find is somebody who wasn't quite as good as the bloke who wasn't quite as good as George W. Bush?
Yeah. McCain doesn't like any of that. He's got a real chip on his shoulder.
Even this time round, he's only the best of a bad bunch, because there were at least 2 other candidates. There was Newt Gingrich, who we beat for the nomination, who would have been the first president to use his porn name. And Ron Paul, who was really right-wing. But to me, Ron Paul, he sounds like the first pope from Essex.
Leave it. He was accused of making himself look darker to appeal to the Latino community.
Yes.
I thought it went a bit far when he was shaking maracas.
Did you hear the airplane gaff? The airplane mistake?
Didn't he say that he... Because his wife wanted to smoke on an airplane.
No, it wasn't his wife wanted to smoke on an airplane. His wife's plane was forced to make an emergency landing because of fire. That's not the same as she wanted to smoke on the airplane. I'll tell you what, Donald, she wasn't with a lighter to the seat in front going... Mad if she was an arsonist. If Anne Romney was like, but it lives to flame. I will have to make it... No, the plane...
It'd be quite a gaff, wouldn't it?
It would be quite a gaff if, like at the convention, thank you very much. Stop! As you said in front of the podium. What? They can't see. Constantly on the campaign trail, patting out fires and his wife. No, she was on the plane. I had to make an emergency landing because of fire. He said, however, Romney said it's great. It's a huge relief to have her here. When you have fire in an aircraft, there's no place to go. You can't find any oxygen from outside the aircraft to get in the aircraft because the windows don't open. I don't know why they do that. It's a real problem. We're going to do something about this thing because I'd like to get a little bit more air into the plane where the fire is. See, I don't know what worries me more, that he doesn't understand how airplanes work or that he doesn't understand how fire works.
He actually suggested they use the petrol to put out the fire. That's what was
douse it in petrol. That'll keep it quiet for a while. All newspapers.
In-flight magazines.
Smother it in shavings of wood. It seems to be getting bigger.
Did he not also say of his wife that you weren't seeing it, he wasn't using it very much on the election trail at the moment, in case you got tired of her? Didn't he say that?
She said in an interview,
I think that's really unfair. I don't see why anybody would get annoyed with me. He lives. Look at it. It is beautiful. Hold your tie out. Hold your tie out.
So now Anne Romney is like a New York Muppet who likes to run
she's got rods coming off her hands like that.
Hello, I'm Anne Romney. You should vote for my husband, and he will make all the windows roll down in your plane.
Okay, in other news, who are arming themselves with rifles and pots of Nutella at
Is
the
it the
moment?
loose women?
Well, not loose women.
It's the people that are killing the badgers.
Well, people are
I
not...
sounded more sad than I was about that.
You made it sound like the most hard... It's the people who are killing the badgers. Why, Mummy? Why, Mummy, are the people killing the badgers?
Okay, why does someone think of the badgers?
I know, Josh, that you're very much the young comic on the show, but there's no need to make yourself appear like an 8-year-old child. Why is the nasty man killing the furry animal?
It's the people killing the badgers because badgers apparently give cows TB.
Yes.
Cows, badgers, badgers, cows. that may be too black and white.
You say black and white now, it'll be black and white and red all over. Okay, that's grown because of the pun or because the poor badgers, which is I can't work your moods out. Sorry.
Brian May, he's against the badger
He's
colours.
against the badger
and
colour,
you
Brian
can
May.
see why, can't you? He's only got to walk through the countryside without somebody trying to shoot his hair off.
What is the name of his organisation?
Queen, yeah.
No. Do you know what his organisation's called?
Is it
Team Badger!
It's called Team Badger, whose initial spell, TB. It's really poorly
Josh has
worked
got
out.
the badge
They've got
for
Team
Team
Badger with
Badger.
a big T and a big B, and they're going, that's actually the problem, Brian. You've not thought this
The
through.
reason he's protecting badgers is because, judging by that picture, he owns the world's largest badger.
But what a badger it is. That is like a badger of destiny. Of that badger, he goes, I'm above such tiny considerations. I see far into the future. I see a land where badgers and man can finally... He also seems in that photograph to be on a Zimmer frame, so it's really not looking good for Brian on a number of different levels. I have bought my first starter home, and I shall fill it with badgers, including the giant badger who stares off into the distance.
They want to kill 3,000, don't
Yes.
they? That's what they will kill. And I was just wondering what they're going to do with them afterwards, because I'm a sort of part-time taxidermist, and I really fancy having a badger army.
I would love to think of you, Joe, buried with your badger army. Just your coffin in the middle and radiating outwards a badger army in separate poses, ready to attack at different points. Yeah.
And just you embalmed in Nutella.
Yes.
If you cull too many badgers, you'll just force them underground anyway.
What celebrity has stepped into it?
Clarissa Dixon Wright.
Clarissa Dixon Wright stepped in. Do you know what she said?
She said,
Gas mark 4.
Essentially, yes, very good. Okay, well done. The end of that round, the points go to Chris here in Miltown. All right, now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in a news programme.
A tornado has struck the east coast of America, carrying everything with it. Let's go over to our Washington correspondent in Hawaii.
Welcome to Sky News. At the moment, the sky is blue.
after years of searching, the police say that they are now close to finding who let the dogs out. They have new leads.
Right, now let's go over to the news in the shitty place you live.
Scientists have injected a human embryo with Marmite. The woman gave birth to twiglets.
Continuing our major story about news organisations hacking people, let's read a few of your emails.
More on that volcanic eruption in Iceland. 2 of the aisles have closed, 1 of the tills is out of order.
This is the world's most literal reporter saying, back to the studio.
And now over to Sue with the weather. I've had her.
Our top story tonight. Anger grows amongst autocue operators following a massive pay cut bum tits Willy Fart. I made him say that.
It's hot and sunny outside, so why not head down the beach? You might see some tits.
And now for the weather report. Let's hope it's a hot one. Oh no, it's Rob McElwee.
And finally...
I'm in The Hague, which must be very uncomfortable for him.
A quick look at the weather now.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to read on a medical label.
Use only if you're immobile or find it difficult to move. Tested on Dara O'Brien.
Anti-diarrhea medicine. In an emergency, shove the bottle up your arse.
As recommended by Michael Jackson.
Ditetramethyl chlorobenzoate for the anamial effluence of the tricordic aorta. Does exactly what it says on the tin.
Groin cream. Not suitable for people with a nut allergy.
Homeopathic tablets. Side effects, none. Main effects, none.
Embarrassed using Anusol? Why not try this? Arse crack soothe.
Do not eat dairy. Otherwise, we will have nowhere to milk the cows.
Viagra. It'll give you more than 8%.
Contains placebox and made it up a limb.
Viagra. Take 15 minutes before sex. Or if single, strap in for the wank of a lifetime.
Obesity pills. Don't eat the bottle, chubby.
Keep out of reach of children. Not the tablets, you.
Store somewhere cool, like New York.
Pregnancy test. Pick up your daughter's boyfriend and shout, "Was it you?"
The end of that round, the points go to Chris Milton. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Josh Widdicombe and Joe Wilkinson. Commiserations to Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Darrell Breen. Good night.
There's comedy tomorrow night at 10 on BBC Two. Stephen Fry is asking questions about journeys as the new series of QI continues.
Read all about
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Alan Cochrane, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Labour's two Eds, Miliband and Balls, but what does MFIB stand for?
Is it Miliband fondles invisible buttocks?
Is Miliband so dull that the headline is, in fact, massive flag in background?
Is it Martian freak invades Britain?
Is he apologising to Young Labour for their poll ratings, saying, my fault, innit, bruv?
Is it just simply MFI bollocks?
Why would they use that picture to randomly take on MFI?
Two wooden characters.
Well, if we're just going to go with ones that have nothing to do with the picture, why can't we just say, my fanny is burning? It's the sentence that goes with MFIB.
By the look of the flag, he's trying to knock some sense into a BNP rally. Is he saying, Mo Farah is black?
Hang on, Mo Farah is British. I could understand him trying to convince him of that, but surely he doesn't have to convince even the BNP that Mo Farah is black.
They are in serious denial. I mean, this summer has been very difficult for them.
White man went very well in the 5,000 metres. What are you talking about?
Or is it just quite simple? Is it man focuses in background?
Is he trying to appeal to, is he trying to show himself to be a bit more down to earth? And he's going, Mallorca, Faliraki, Ibiza, brilliant.
Mowgli's friend is Baloo.
Is it Martin Freeman is Bilbo?
No, it's not. The end answer is Miliband. So Miliband something battle.
Miliband fears irritating battle.
No.
Bowel.
No.
Irritable bowel.
Not bowel.
I think it's Miliband fights image battle.
Very good. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. OK, the answer I was looking for was Miliband fights image battle. This is the news that Ed Miliband has launched a campaign to make himself better known to voters, embracing his geek image and comprehensive school education. It comes in a week when one poll suggests that 63% of the electorate do not see him as a future Prime Minister.
The poll actually said, though, it said people didn't regard him as Prime Ministerial as David Cameron. And you're thinking, well, that's probably not much of a surprise because David Cameron is, in fact, the Prime Minister.
Yes.
We need to be a bit careful throwing stones about Ed Miliband appearing like a bit of a dork. If there are 7 men on television who don't need to be throwing stones in this particular glass house, this 7-man up you to the survival of the fittest theory, right? Not the pot calling the kettle black. This is the kettle calling another kettle a kettle.
To be fair, only one of us does a programme about maths.
Yes, well... What policies have Labour touted at the conference this week?
He's promised more help for first-time buyers, and my parents helped me buy my first flat, and I can't thank them enough, it turns out.
He wants to cut stamp duty, doesn't he, to promote growth?
Yep.
And you think, well, it might work. I mean, what was Cameron's best idea to promote growth? Everybody should build a conservatory. And you're thinking, that is not going to kick-start the British economy. It might kick-start the Polish economy.
He's only going to sell 4G. Apparently they're going to sell 4G. I didn't know we had 4G yet. I know people have talked about this thing, but they might as well go, and we shall sell the nation's reserves of unobtainium. The money we receive from that.
Miliband said they're going to break up the banks, which is actually a policy that genuinely could solve the financial crisis, as long as they go back in time and do it before 2008.
One banking reform that I would like to see is for the people who work at the Halifax, stop pissing about with that radio station and do some work.
I think if they did break up the banks, that Miliband is the sort of bloke that would just end up with a pen with one of those little chains on it. Out of everything in a bank.
Move on. Here's a picture of Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls, but can anyone give me a phrase to sum this up?
Well, obviously, good to see that Wayne Rooney is back to fitness.
Is he thinking to himself? Is he just thinking to himself, why, when my name is Balls, do I keep having photographs like these?
Is Mr. Ed Balls playing football in a match between MPs and journalists at the conference? apart from playing football, what has Ed Balls been doing recently?
He's a politician.
He's been...
Other than that...
He has been sickening normal people everywhere by learning to play the piano.
Yes,
Did you
to
see
what
that?
level?
Grade 1.
Grade 1, yes.
And the grade 1 is recognising that that's not a piano.
This is a trick test. That's not a piano. You have passed.
I reckon he just heard mention of chopsticks and thought there might be some food available.
If he does learn chopsticks, that'll be handy for when he's Chancellor and has to beg money off the Chinese.
You really believe you go into the Chinese and go, honourable Chinese president. Cling, 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 cling,
They will go, you took an interest in our culture.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding. That's as much as I know.
Okay. Darren, do you not think he would have lost them with honourable Chinese person? Opening with that.
I'm not in the diplomatic corps. What do you say?
It'd be like arriving in the Congo on a diplomatic mission with a crate of umbongo. I believe you enjoy this beverage.
We're told this is all you drink here in the Congo, which has been renamed for how long?
Well, it's now called the Democratic Republic of Umbongo.
By the way, who's he doing the test with?
Lots of 5-year-old and 6-year-old children.
6-year-old children. 6-year-old child, 6-year-old child, Ed Balls, 6-year-old child, 6-year-old child.
Which is creepy. As a 6-year-old child, you'd be thinking, you've been told, as you wait in that room, if you fail this, you're coming back again. And then a 45-year-old man... As a 6-year-old, you're thinking, oh my God, this is an idiot.
Wow, they take this shit seriously. Please let me go. Please don't make me do the exam again.
I do, in a way, think it's commendable that he's done it and it's good for him to have a release, but I also think it's a really bad thing for a busy politician to do in a sort of connecting with the people way, because people that have got normal jobs are then going, well, I haven't got time to learn the fucking piano. How have you got time? Well, he could really do what Cameron does and just get pissed and lose his kids and stuff like that. And then people are like, oh, yeah, he's one of mine.
In other news, what did David Cameron do recently that no other serving British Prime Minister has ever done?
Samantha Cameron.
Yeah. That's true. But he also went on Letterman in the States, didn't he?
Letterman was trying to trip him up by asking about British history, which is tricky because we've got a lot more of it than they have, right? And, American history exams are really easy. They just have questions like, on what date was September the 11th?
He did do all right, but he didn't know what Magna Carta meant, when in fact what he should have said, obviously, is what Magna Carta means is that we had civilised democratic government some 200 years before your country was discovered.
And also, I'd imagine, had he said that, it wouldn't quite have gone as well as an appearance as he would have liked. David Cameron was on a complete charm offensive. Look at you, your small, poxy country. New and useless. We're older than you. Yeah. Older. Feel my history.
He could. I think he could also have gone, you say your name is Letterman. In my country, we would call you Postman.
I'm sorry. He wasn't going on as a Bond villain.
That would be cheek. Kill him now!
They love us as villains. They always have English people as villains. They don't know who he is. This was we could have sent anybody. We should have sent Alan Rickman. Hello.
You know what he came out to? Do you know
I know what he came out to. He came out to loads of dry ice, and they said it represented a London fog when we haven't had a London fog for over 100 years. That's the stereotype image that those Americans believe. What? The fat, dumb redneck. The closest we've currently got to a London fog is Boris Johnson at the moment. Or Amy Childs from The Only Way is Essex.
What Boris Johnson did say was that he got it wrong deliberately because he didn't want to seem like he had Latin coming out of every orifice. Now, that sounds creepy, doesn't it?
The thing about Boris Johnson, though, isn't it, is everybody thinks he's quintessentially English, but in fact he was born in America, named after a Russian, and looks like a Swedish person who's eaten another Swedish person.
And the points go to Christy and Gary. round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask you to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Prince of Wales.
Good God, it's Margaret Beckett, isn't it? From the First Labour government. You know, I'm beginning to wonder how recent this footage actually is. Well, only a train in a box. That's odd. Mummy normally gives me a Twix and a lump of organic cheese. Still, never mind. Stick that on eBay. So this will be your driver, Dave. Hello, Dave. I love you. So you drive this, do you? Yes, I bet you've got a tale or two to tell. Yeah, well, actually, it has been hairy a couple of times. I bet it has. Yes. Do you know, I quite fancy doing your job. Yes, and I quite fancy doing your job. Well, that's not going to fucking happen, is it? Can I have a go? No, I'm afraid it's against regulations. Is it? Is it? Now, Dave, think very carefully. Yes, I think that's the right answer. Nobody wants to be force-fed organic biscuits. Anyway, let's have some fun. This is an impression. This is the British economy. It's going backwards. Yes, don't worry, I understand about trains. Now tell me, Dave, can this go sideways? It's backwards and forward. Why don't you just concentrate on driving the train? So just push the lever forward if you could. It's a lever, is it? I thought it was an enormous licorice all-sort. What do? Just push it forward, do I? Oh, yes, look, we're going. Well, this is a piece of piste. You're stealing a living. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, my arm's stuck. I think, hang on, Dave, my arm's locked. David, my arm. Dave, I can't stop. My arm's locked. His arm's locked. My arm's locked. I can't. Oh, my God, where are the brakes? Where are the brakes? They're out of control. I can't stop it. Got you there, didn't I, Dave?
Well done, you done us. Now we play a round called Wakey Wakey, Roy McIlroy. This game involves Ed and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is, however, I think is the funniest. Okay, here we go. Let's have the first topic, please. The first subject is parenting.
I'll take this. We have 2 children in our house. 2 boys. One is 4 months old and the other is 21 months old. Yeah. We didn't want there to be too big a gap, so my wife had them both by cesarean. To be honest with you, the 4-month-old, he's already more of a man than I've ever been, because he's already mastered the art of the casual vomit, something I could never do. When I'm sick, it's a biblical event, it's coming out my nose, I'm pulling muscles in my back, but he's so cool with it. He'll puke and then he'll look at you like you just did it. You know. What's this? That was you? Don't think so. Doesn't sound like it. But it's amazing the pressure that can build up inside a small child. It's got the puke flies out and the piss flies out and the shit. Honestly, if I was to feed him creosote instead of milk, I could do me fence with him. The thing we've been careful about, though, is even though I have 2 boys, I didn't name either of them after me. Because I didn't want to have that big Ed, little Ed thing. Because when you call him one of your sons Little Ed, it just sounds too much like you're talking about your cock. Oh, Little Ed's been misbehaving. It just seems a bit... Honey, will you just hold Little Ed? Just hold Little Ed for just a minute. Hold Little Ed. Oh, Little Ed's been sick on you. It's just not right.
Thank you very much, Ed. Okay, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Okay, let's spin that wheel. And the topic is celebrity.
Celebrity. They've started a celebrity magazine for the elderly. It's called Hello, Hello, Hello. Uri Geller, surprisingly hard to stab. Malcolm X chose that name rather than admit he'd accidentally put a kiss at the end of a text message. I went to see Walt Disney on Ice. Bit disappointing, it's just an old bloke in a freezer. The new president of France said this week that English speakers were arrogant in their refusal to learn foreign languages. At least I think that's what he said. But it all just sounded like haw-hee-haw, haw-hee-haw. And remember, that's not racist if it's about the French. I'd have £5 on the Dalai Lama if I was a Tibetan man. When they buried the man who invented Tetris, the whole cemetery disappeared. As well as 7 years in prison here, Abu Hamza could be deported to the United States where he could face the electric chair. But on the plus side, if he is electrocuted, at least he can just stick his hook in the air and pretend to be a bumper car.
Well done, guys. Point to both of you. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Gary, which category would you like?
I would like sport, please.
OK, the category is sport. And the answer is 14.5. What is the question?
Is it how many weeks does it now take Mickey Rourke to get an erection?
Is it what glass slipper size? What glass slipper size would have made Prince Charming go, OK, I'll leave it?
How many pubes do the band One Direction have?
Is it how many months does Wayne Rooney think there are in a year?
Is it how many shades of grey are there really?
How many minutes did it take to write Gangnam Style?
Is it how many pints?
What about this?
How many pints would the 7 dwarves get through if Snow White was there and all of them were driving? Get that, eh? Get the maths of that.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
2 pints each to be under the limit, plus a half for the lady, you know.
Is it how far into Jamie Oliver's 15-minute meals did I realise I didn't have the right ingredients?
How many hairs has Dara got left?
No, that's cruel.
We're not going to win.
How many does it need to be cruel like that?
Is it, in fact, how many points did the European Ryder Cup team get?
Very good. Well done. Thank you very much. Yes. And the question I was looking for was, what was Europe's winning score in the Ryder Cup? This is the news that Europe's golfers retained the Ryder Cup after producing a stunning comeback in a tense and exciting final day in Chicago. After trailing the United States 10-6 after 2 days' play, they produced an outstanding performance to win by 14.5 points to the United States' 13.5 points. Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the course was all set up, of course, for the Americans. They had very long fairways for their big hitters, not too much rough, so as they play their iron shots, and very few female spectators to distract Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, of course, who lost the foursomes, which came as a surprise because he'd had so much practice.
I've never seen such a thrilling game of golf, and I didn't see this one either.
Do you love the American names, though? Because that's what I like most about it. Their captain was called Davis Love III. And I thought, that is a great name, but do I need to know that? That you love the 3rd? I mean, I love the 18th, but don't go on about it.
I'd like Dara to say it, though.
What, Davis Love III?
Oh,
yeah, I know you wanted me to say.
Sport.
You wanted me to say deterred, and then we're dancing with a pig under my arm.
Yeah. That is exactly what I want.
By the way, the Americans were 10-6 up, which is, till then, a historically unassailable lead, practically away from home. But they had a rousing speech on the night before.
Yeah. George Bush.
George
W. Bush.
George W. Bush.
On the Saturday night, when it looked like the fight was won, George W. Bush came along and said the fight was won, and then the next day the fight was lost. How unlike George W. Bush to say the fight has been won, and then it turns out it's not. The US team can count themselves lucky they're not still on the course in bunkers doing that with mortars flying over their heads.
Yeah, Bush walks out and goes, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Cut to 2 years later. Well, we hope to get our golfers out of the course some stage soon. We want to bring them back for Christmas. That's what we're hoping. Yeah. Who needed a police car to take him to the first tee?
Rory McIlroy.
Wow, very good. Yes, you're absolutely right.
His excuse was that the coverage on the telly was timed as being an hour on Eastern time, when in fact he was in Illinois. So it was an hour. There was an hour's difference. But the fact is, he was still watching the Ryder's Cup on the telly. He was still there, going, "Oh, what's on? Golf. I love golf." That's the what are these people up to? A lot of people standing around looking at their watches.
I'm playing him today.
Where's Rory, when this guy turns up, is he going to be? Wow.
Ding! Penny drop. Here's a picture of the European team celebrating their win. Can you sum this up with a phrase or a caption?
Yep. What a load of swingers.
This is what's happening in the 1970s right now.
I think they're twisting again. You know, like we did last summer.
Is this Marks and Spencer's launches its new Looks Like a Dick range?
Yeah. This year's lineup for Strictly looks a bit shit.
Yeah. Gangnam Style!
Gangnam Style! It's a version of Gangnam Style. It's in fact Gingham Style.
You think they look happy? You just see the bloke in the jacket shop.
I sold them! I sold them! What is it?
Somewhere there's a branch of Garfunkels with no tablecloths.
In other news, what are you now able to do in this country at sunrise, midnight, or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Watch this show on Dave.
Yes.
You can get married 24 hours.
Yes, you can.
And Blackpool Tower say that they're very keen to have marriages at midnight. Of course, the advantage of getting married at midnight in Blackpool is that you can't actually see Blackpool.
I think it's the logical next step, because there's already civil partnerships, so gay people can get married, and now weddings at 3 a.m, so ugly people can get married.
The Home Office have said about this 24-hour wedding thing is that it means that they've increased the amount of choice people can have when planning their weddings. Right now, there's a nation full of engaged men going, "Oh, good, another choice." What I needed was more things to discuss in the planning of this poxy wedding.
It's a weird ceremony to be able to do at 3 in the morning. To me, I think, you know, there's a definite market for 24-hour divorces or 3 a.m. christenings. The baby's awake anyway, darling.
Very good. Very good.
You don't really think of it as a christening. I didn't think of it as a christening, more the wake we held for our sex life.
First, you don't have to get married in church anymore. Then you get married at night. Who is this benefiting?
Vampires.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's exactly. It's just going to be a load of Twilight-themed weddings. Oh, shite. All it's going to be. At the end of that round, the points go to Alan Evan Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
They think it's all over, but Wayne Rooney is telling his hair surgeons that they've missed a bit.
So just 2 laps to go, and then these dancers from Stringfellows will be heading home for the night.
Tragedy strikes the Winter Olympics as the ski jumping is accidentally held next to a clay pigeon chute.
And that's a 200-yard drive. Colin Montgomery there, too lazy to walk to get the paper.
Well, with 200 metres to go, he is on the shoulder of the Ethiopian. I don't know if it's legal for him to be there, but it's going to slow him down a bit.
Lewis Hamilton still leads, but there's trouble up ahead as Dick Dastardly and Muttley are digging a hole under turn 17.
She can see the line now. She can see the line. She's definitely pregnant.
Welcome back to the women's shot put. Here's the Lithuanian. My, what a pretty little thing.
Well, let's go over to Epsom for the 2:30. There are 16 runners. Everyone else is riding a horse. What a race this is going to be.
And after Andy Murray's recent appearance on television's Mock the Week, on to centre court we see the lolloping frame of Dara O'Brien.
And that's an incredible right hook there from Abu Hamza.
So, Boris Johnson, are you enjoying the Olympics? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Claire Balding, are you enjoying the Olympics?
And there was some confusion earlier on centre court when Andy Murray thought he'd signed one of those giant novelty tennis balls, and it turned out to be a fat kid's face with jaundice.
And the England team sticking with the classic 4-4-2 formation. This really is the most organised orgy I've ever seen.
And Serena Williams remains unseeded for a second year. I can't help thinking that a bit of lippy and a push-up bra.
Okay, the next topic is bad things to say at a job interview.
What do I think of nepotism? That's a good question, Dad.
Yeah, I served for 10 years in Afghanistan. I was in the Taliban.
I like to see myself as a people person, although some people have called me a trafficker.
So I'm just checking. You definitely don't do a CRB check.
You ask a lot of questions.
Sorry, could you repeat the question? My ankle bracelet's beeping really loudly.
Well, I am a fully qualified geography teacher, and the school's next door, is it?
If it were to take you on as an accountant, how do you think you'd cope with all the extra fanny you'd be getting?
Do I like jogging? Oh, I thought he said, do I like dogging? The answer's still yes.
You've demonstrated a bad attitude, an inability to listen, and a complete lack of interest in others. Welcome to Ryanair's customer service team.
Why do I want to be a vet? Ketamine.
Well, they gave me a 2-2 at university, so I just thought I'd wear it to the interview.
I'd say my three strongest points are attention to detail, a determination to see things through, yada, yada, yada.
Yes, I think I would be the perfect candidate today to make the platform announce.
Why do you want to join the army? I just love a man in uniform.
What would I do if I won the lottery? Tell you to fuck off.
Okay, that's it. End that round. The points go to Chris, Hugh and Gary. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Alan Cochrane. Thanks for watching. I'm Darrell Green. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Josh Widdicombe, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Catherine, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics it is. The answer is 10 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many hours of community service will Justin Lee Collins have to do before a girl agrees to date him again?
Is it the number of tweets that David Cameron's received to his new Twitter account that include the word tosspot?
Is it, if the planet Earth wore trousers, what size waist would it take? Well, is it?
Let me check my notes. No, it is not.
Is it how many units do I get through a week?
Is it... What does 10 million sound like if you say it when you've got a cold?
Is it how many STDs are circulating on the Isle of Fernandos?
I don't... What?
From Take Me Out.
I always thought Take Me Out was a show about people who wanted to be assassinated.
Is it how many tattoos would I have to look remotely hard?
Is it after how many sheep do you know that you're really not going to go to sleep?
Is it how many undeserved chances will Rihanna give Chris Brown?
Is it how much would Mr. T get if he went to Cash for Gold?
Excellent topical reference there.
Is it how many sugar puffs can you get in a pillar box?
Is it, in fact, what are the chances against getting a joke about Jim Fricks?
OK, we'll move on to correct answer.
How many days has that sail been on a DFS?
I really do need you to go to the correct answer now.
Is it the amount of cuts that the Chancellor of the Exchequer is trying to find from the welfare budget?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Yes, the question I was looking for was how much is the government planning to cut from the benefits budget? This is the news that at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week, Chancellor George Osborne announced that in its drive to reduce the deficit, the government will cut a further £10 billion from the welfare budget by 2017. Where's that going to come from?
Well, just checking, they're not cutting friends with benefits, right?
Still fine. That's still grand. Up to the age of 25.
It's quite difficult for them, isn't it, to know, because you're not allowed to like the people at the bottom end because they're poor and they're not helping themselves, so boo-boo to them. And you're not allowed to like the people at the top end because they're rich and they've got all the money and boo-boo-boo to them. And it's kind of getting squeezed more and more. Eventually, they're just going to put the recovery on one guy called Kevin Williamson of Warwick. It's all just going to be about him. We're really backing you to get this country back on track, Mr. Williamson. Holy shit!
There's a guy at home now in Warwick going, oh, God. I cannot believe this. This is the worst way for it to be broken to me.
If he's incorrectly chosen, he will then go, I knew that. I knew it was going to come down to me. I knew all these people, and I'm the only one who can do this. Darling, get my jacket. I'm going to leave the house.
I'm on Euro Millions this weekend.
David Cameron was determined to change the image of the Conservative Party, wasn't he? He wanted to just stop people thinking of them as the nasty party. He's done that now, because they're now thought of as the ruthless bastards party.
I feel sorry for the Tory party, because apparently last week they were all sent a badge saying Britain can deliver, but none of them arrived.
What a cheat that David Cameron wants kids to stay at home until they're aged 25 when he can't even keep his own kid out of the pub aged 8.
I tried living with my parents, but it didn't really work out. Apparently I didn't see the no camping sign amongst the gravestones.
It didn't kill them. They're probably not dead. It's definitely a joke, all right?
But he did really try and put sugar puffs in a lamp.
That was nice. Well, and big news, exciting news though for homeowners. Exciting news for homeowners. Oh yeah, you can kill burglars now. I think that's the gist of it. I think that's it. I'm not sure. You can put bear traps around your house and hear a yelp in the middle of the night.
I think basically a slapstick rule should apply. If it goes, you're fine. If you kill the guy, not so much.
Yeah. You're allowed to be proportionate in your violence towards burglars, but not grossly proportionate. So, if what you're doing to the burglar could feature in one of the Saw movies.
You want to go with Laurel and Hardy films, ideally. Try and, whack them by turning around with a ladder, a bucket on their head.
Who has received a hero's welcome at the conference?
Batman!
Yes, the bit where Batman came. No, not Batman.
Oh, Boris.
Boris Johnson said he wanted to be tough on crime. And this was after, apparently, he's had 6 bikes nicked. And you're wondering, has he really had 6 bikes nicked? Or 6 times he just hasn't got a clue where he in fact left?
What was the hero's welcome? What did they do for him?
So they kind of clapped. It wasn't like they threw rose petals or anything like that. They were just very happy to see him.
Well, a hero's welcome. You know, in Aladdin, when he's on the elephant and it's, hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us see. It's a bright new star. Oh, come be the first on the block to meet his eye. You're gonna love this guy. That... the hero's welcome.
I defer to your definition of a hero's welcome. At no point did Bob arriving on, near, or confusingly like an elephant.
They also gave him, like they give everyone at the Tory Party conference, they gave him a 2-minute standing ovation. That's what they give absolutely everyone, whatever they've said. It makes perfect sense. It's 30 seconds of clapping and a minute and a half for most of them to stand up.
You need a hat. I can do this. Come on.
Hinge and bracket over there. Okay. In other news, outside the party conference, what have hospital patients been asked to rate?
They have been asked to rate, apparently, exactly how good the A&E departments are. The question is, would you recommend this A&E department to your friends and family? Well, what are you going to say to them? Oh, well, don't worry, you've had an accident. You're going to St Mark's, and that's got a crack in A&E.
It's the beginning of Casualty. Wasn't it? Just a man falling off his shed onto his garden rake and then crawling to his laptop to go on TripAdvisor.
Or just come home to your partner, square up and go, I'm going to send you someplace nice.
Well, I've never heard domestic violence put quite as charmingly as that. Yes, I know that they put don't know in. There's an extremely likely, neither likely nor unlikely, extremely don't know. Don't ask the people with concussion. How would you rate it? Cabbage? Banana? Cabbage?
The people who give the lowest rating are dead. So the results are going to be unavoidably skewed.
That's going to be a very awkward conversation when they go, I'm sorry, we've lost him. Do you think he was satisfied with this? Before he went, did he say whether he enjoyed the food?
It's going to be the least accurate survey of all time. Don't ask people questions when they're in pain. And what's your name? Jesus! Another Jesus. We've had a lot.
They have quite confusing questions like, which hepatitis did the doctor fail to cure you of? Was it A?
In other news, here's a picture of Illusion's David Blaine performing his latest stunt in New York. Can anyone sum this up with a phrase?
Is it, what a stupid stunt?
Yeah.
Is it, giant makes mistake of sitting on lighthouse?
Man discovers easiest way to charge new iPhone?
Yeah. Is it Earth, Wind and Douchebag?
You're saying, I wish I'd never started changing this light bulb.
Is this what they used to keep Bruce Forsyth alive?
Remember, keep me plugged in.
He's in fact all right, but the dove up his sleeve for the big finish.
Well, David Blaine, he used to be an illusionist, and now he's an endurance performer, which just sounds like homeless to me. David Blaine's biggest magic trick is staying relevant.
The suit makes it completely safe. It's completely, it's like there is 100% no danger. It is, and people going, oh my God, it's really amazing because there's so much electricity around him, but he was okay, right? It's the equivalent of putting on a scuba diving thing and sitting in the bath and going, water could kill me, but I am safe. What a miracle! I am safe here in my scuba outfit.
You'd have loved to have seen him do that stunt in the UK, though, wouldn't it? You know, people would have been chucking water bombs at him. That and some eggs. The smell of burnt omelette would have gone for miles.
Do you know when I lost respect for him? When he did that ice one, where he's in a block of ice, and he called it Frozen in Time. You're going, that is the best chance to call it Chilblain that has ever happened.
Okay. At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Catherine and Andy. Now we play a round called Live and Let Mock. This game involves Catherine, Milton and Josh, so if you could make your way over to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. Okay, here we go. The first topic, please. And the first subject is identity. Who wants to come in with that? Josh.
I had to sign for a parcel recently. That's got a lot more difficult, hasn't it? It used to be simple, didn't it, when you get a pen and a piece of card. Now you're given this kind of digital screen and plastic stick. And all you can do is some kind of zigzag up and down line. That bears no relation to any signature that has ever existed ever. Is that your signature? No! It's like the mark of Zorro. Is anyone checking this at the post office going, I've got bad news. Zorro is back. And he's signing for every parcel in the United Kingdom. I struggle filling in these forms, but I filled in the census last year. My favourite question was on the final page. There was a question that said, please fill in the details of anyone that doesn't live with you, but stayed over on the night of March the 23rd. That's going to be very awkward if you've just had a one-night stand, isn't it? Good morning, a few questions. What is your occupation? What do I want to know? Well, I'm telling the government, actually, yeah. It's not the kind of thing you just drop in, just go, morning, do you take sugar in your tea? Also, would you describe yourself as Caucasian?
Thank you very much, Josh Livingston. Okay, let's see what the next subject is. And it's nationality. Who wants to give me that?
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk. They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness? And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge. If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Okay, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with, Milton. Let's spin the wheel. Transport is the topic.
So I've got my own private jet. The rest of the jacuzzi belongs to my mum. If you've got a sat-nav, don't put the name of the company you're visiting into it. I tried to take some mayonnaise back the other day. I ended up in Helmand Province. I mean, I've got a car, but there's nothing I like better than making a bonfire on the passenger seat. driving up and down, opening and shutting the electric sunroof and pretending to be a steam train. My uncle, he was a taxi driver, but then one day he left home without any indication. So recently, I was fell walking in the Lake District. Well, it's not quite true. Recently, I fell walking in the Lake District. I was going to tell someone, but the pillar box was full of sugar puffs.
Thank you very much, Milton. OK, in that round. Prize Adrian. Go on, get better. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of everyone's favourite radical cleric, Abu Hamza, back in his heyday. Well, what does HFAT stand for?
Is it high-fiving always trouble?
Is it Hamza fantasises about thumbs?
Is it look on the bright side? His feet are terrific.
Is it Harvest Festival attracts troublemaker?
No, it's holy F, a Teletubby.
Is he reading an eye chart and going HFAT?
Is it Harlow finally appoint town crier?
Is it what the British authorities said to him when they said goodbye? Is it, have fun, Abu, ta-ra?
Is it what happens when he tries to do head, shoulders, knees and toes? Head...
Fuck, twat!
I need it.
Okay. It's the start of his sermon, isn't it? Hello, Finsbury and Tottenham!
Correct answer, please.
His fingers aren't there.
The H stands for Hamza.
Yeah, I think it's Hamza faces American trial, probably.
Yes, absolutely. Well done. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. Very good. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Hamza faces American trial. This is the news after 8 years of fighting extradition. Radical preacher and former nightclub bouncer Abu Hamza has been deported to America to face trial on terrorism charges. It follows a recent revelation that even the Queen was concerned that Abu Hamza had remained in the UK for such a long period of time. Will you miss him?
Well, lawyers were saying, weren't they, that they thought it was cruel to extradite him now, just before the Panto season started.
I think it was right in the end. I mean, I'm as fond of hate preaching as the next man, but I think, I think it was time for him to go. But if you think about it, how terrifying, and you hope the other passengers on the plane knew, how terrifying would it be if you're flying to New York and you find Abu Hamza sitting next to you?
If there's anyone who didn't really gain from the Paralympics feel-good legacy, it's Abu Hamza.
He was supposed to have advised one of the 9/11 bombers, and he advised the shoe bomber. This is a man with no hands and one eye. Would you take bomb advice off that man?
Ages to get rid of it. But David Cameron said that he was sick to the back teeth of him. I love the poshness of it. He was sick to the back teeth of a terrorist. I don't think you can get more British than that. He was an absolute pest. He was an absolute pest. We were all awfully cheesed off about 7/7, and frankly, the fellow was the giddy limit.
According to the British police, there's been a question mark over him for some time. Either that, or he just had his hand in the air.
Enjoy them while they're still hot.
My favourite bit of the story was that in court they took his hooks off him. There's no need to... I think they should have just covered it with one of those big foam hands. That would have been far more humiliating for him, wouldn't it?
We're number one. Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets number one.
It's always been fascinating to me that Abu Hamza saw 9/11 as a sign that God hates America. And you'd think, you know, with no hands and one eye, God's not that sold on him, really.
What I don't understand is he's diabetic and he got legal aid. But surely fizzy drinks aren't good for him.
OK, here is a picture of England manager Roy Hodgson, but can you sum this up with a phrase?
Is it the world's most disappointing lap dance?
Is he saying Richmond, Rickmansworth, Rayners Lane. Thank goodness I'm going to Wembley.
Waiting in the tunnel before the game, Roy Hodgson begins to suspect he may be in the wrong tunnel.
Looking at the whole picture, is it the London Underground where sexy singles meet?
Is it when he took the job and they said he could have a driver to take him to matches? He should have asked a few more questions.
Are they saying we apologise for the delay? Luis Suarez has dived in front of the train.
Whoops, I've just put a yellow javelin through this man's head.
What was the story with him?
Well, he was on the tube, and he was on his way to the Emirates, and someone asked him a question, and he broke the unwritten code of talking to people on the tube. You never ever do. You're not allowed to do that. If you're a Londoner, you simply do not talk to people on the tube unless you've got a dog.
It wasn't people were angry that he's given away any confidence about the selection and non-selection of Rio Ferdinand. It was just that he broke the beautiful rule of...
You don't talk to people on the tube. On the tube, you have to sit like this.
Oh, now I recognise you. Can I borrow your Metro? Thanks.
Surely it was just a misunderstanding. Somebody said to Roy Hodgson...
So he hasn't arrived at his destination yet. We're sort of hoping he arrives soon.
Might stop.
He said that he's never going to talk to anyone on the tube again. I want to be there when a tourist comes up to him and goes, is this Marble Arch? And he has to go...
Well, it's the only way they'll learn. We'll have to go through that. Hello, Londoner. I'm just out from Ireland. I was wondering what train I should... Oh, you're going? OK, I'll try another one.
I would talk to you, Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah.
I would take you to your destination and carry your bags.
Thank you very much. But you are a foreigner. I've been here too long and now I shun you as well. Hello.
All right. I'll pretend I'm on a tube. Ask me a question.
Hello, sir. I was wondering if you knew this is the perfect place to change for the Jubilee line.
Excuse me, I was wondering if this is the right place for... I want to get to Buckingham Palace.
It's shameful. This man is a pioneer, the first man ever to speak on the tube. And your people, instead of lifting him up, you punish him by making him coach your football team.
The points go to Josh, Catherine and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, the first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a Bond movie.
Agents aren't what they used to be, 007. Meet 118118.
One dry martini, shaken not stirred, and 4 Jaeger bombs.
So, Bond, we're really pushing product placement in this film. So here's your new secretary, Miss MoneySupermarket.com.
Goldfinger, what are you doing with that laser? You've nearly burnt my cock off.
So, laser guided, fires at will, lovely in the hand, incredible repeat speed. Tell me, Mr. Bond, where'd you get a penis like this?
MI6. No, you're a lot older than that, Bond.
Aha! Mr. Bond. It appears that somebody has stolen my cat.
sorry, James, I'm going to have to remove your licence to kill. Also, I would question the validity of this boob inspector card.
Hey, it's me, Pussy. Pussy no more? Yeah, I'm post-op now. It's going real good.
Professor, how could you? You tried to mix giant broccoli with 3 million eggs. So, your terrible flan has failed.
And this watch that fires bullets, and I'm afraid that's all the gadgets I can give you, Bond. I'm the 8 items or less Q.
I think you may need an eye test, Bond. That sex-mad blonde you've been shagging in the embassy is Julian Assange.
So she's smuggling diamonds somehow, Bond, and your job is to find out how. Just go to the hotel reception and ask for Fanny Vajazzle.
Okay, the next topic is unlikely things to hear at a party conference.
Yes, I'm a millionaire. Yes, I went to Eton. But I really feel I can relate to the rest of you scum.
My name's Dave, like the TV channel. We both repeat the same old shit over and over again.
Would Nick Clegg please come to Lost Property, where his missing spine has been handed in?
Am I to the left? Am I to the right? I'll be honest. It depends which trousers I'm wearing.
So that concludes the conference. One more question. Would anyone like to buy a 40-foot sign with the word Conservatives written on it?
I'd avoid the hotel bar. Anne Widdecombe's in there reading 50 Shades of Grey.
It has just been unacceptable cut after unacceptable cut. Why can't Boris Johnson find a proper hairdresser?
Welcome to the UKIP conference, the first conference to be held here in Islamabad.
Education, education, education. Can someone fix my auto cue, please?
Politicians ready! Gladiators ready!
Let's get drunk and join the Euro.
This government say they're phasing out Roman numerals. Not on my watch.
There have never been enough women in this party, and that is why, from this afternoon, you can call me Stephanie.
Our strategy for this Labour conference is embrace the geek and not, as I said earlier, release the gimp.
Here in support of Testicular Cancer Awareness Week, it's Shadow Chancellor Ed Ball.
I don't know about you, but I have swallowed so much semen this weekend.
My name's Dave, like the TV channel, and I repeat the same old shit over and over again.
Very good. At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Catherine and Andy. Okay, that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Joshua Whitcomb. Commiserations to Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thanks for watching. I'm Darren Breen. Good night.